Last video, I said I would go over the theories and discussions brought up by the community due to the events of the latest chapter. And in today's video, let's do just that. What's up guys, this is Gambly here, and in today's video, I want to go over your thoughts and discussions regarding chapter 1090 of the One Piece manga. This is a new thing to the channel, and I'm hoping I could do it for the majority of the upcoming chapters of One Piece. If you want to be featured in the next videos, when I post these announcements, drop something cool you noticed regarding the chapter and you might be chosen next. Anyways, before we get into this, you liking the videos, right? Oh, you said yeah? So why don't you subscribe to the channel? It's a win-win for both of us. I felt a little nervous because Luffy hasn't looked shook or frightened by an opponent in a long time. Kizaru gave that man PTSD. I'm pretty sure he's referring to the infamous Sabaody incident, and this still holds true. In Sabaody, Luffy and his gang got absolutely fodderized, and obviously as this is the second time Luffy has met Kizaru while he's with his crew, he's going to remember what the hell happened the first time. But also, notice how they said he hasn't looked like that in a long time? That's what I call the OG Admiral presence. Kizaru's presence alone has Luffy shook, dilated eyes and all. Aokiji had bro shook the first time they met, and bruh, Akainu? This comment joked about Luffy's PTSD from Sabaody, but are we forgetting the more justifiable incident for PTSD? What moment in One Piece do you think I'm referring to? If you guessed the grand opening of the Mera Mera Donut Shop, you're right. Akainu has quite literally the best reason for giving Luffy PTSD out of everyone in the entire series. The mention of Akainu's name, like in Fishman Island, makes Luffy literally wince in pain as well as grab the scar on his chest that Akainu made. He, as well as every other admiral, lives rent-free in Luffy's head, and that's why you should stop underestimating my goat. You don't see Luffy intimidated or affected forever by the Yonko. Those are some bums. Kaido is Luffy's jumping rope. Big Mom isn't even worthy enough for Luffy, and the only one who has actually impacted him, however, is Blackbeard, but Luffy already spun back on that bum. Wasn't Sentomaru adopted by Vegapunk? That could explain why Kizaru might have considered them a Vegapunk. This is actually a good point. Last video, I said I had no idea who the hell Kizaru was talking about here when he said that the Vegapunk guarding the dome was his friend. At that time, I didn't even think of Sentomaru because obviously he's not a Vegapunk. Then I reread the panel and noticed it was just me being stupid. Kizaru says that might be possible, but the one Vegapunk stationed to guard the dome is a friend of mine. In my initial read, I thought he was saying that one of the Vegapunks were stationed to guard the dome, but now that I see it, he's saying that the one that Vegapunk stationed, so someone else, that Vegapunk chose to guard the dome. And so now it's quite obvious that he was talking about Sentomaru because he literally was the one guarding the dome. I'm just stupid and I didn't notice that. But hold on, still regarding this comment, something else came to mind for me. I had seen another comment that talked about what Sentomaru said here. On the note, it says that the word Sentomaru uses here can be used as uncle, but also as father/boss. Now, maybe this doesn't change too much, but it really comes into question what Kizaru actually is to Sentomaru through his eyes. Because Sentomaru refers to Vegapunk as grandpa, so could that mean Kizaru and Vegapunk are that connected to the point where Sentomaru views Kizaru as Vegapunk's son? I know it sounds stupid, but I just wanted to blab about it real quick. Bonnie is still in Kuma's memories. This is Katarina Devon we see. If Luffy, who always reads others' emotions perfectly, is shocked by her change of attitude, it's a red flag in my opinion. Plus, Devon seems to always thirst for people unlike Bonnie, so I find that it fits better as well. This is the theory I was referring to last video when I said I would go over them. To set some context, as Luffy, Bonnie, Frankie, and Lilith run towards the ship, Luffy and Bonnie in particular are talking about the food they'll miss on the island. Bonnie suggests that they should get some pizza to go, but Luffy says she shouldn't worry because Sanji can just make some more. Then Bonnie hyped up Sanji saying that he's a great man who has amazing cooking skills and is also strong in battle. But then Luffy questions how she could be in a good mood after all her crying last night. He says that it's so weird. Bonnie replies saying she feels a lot better now that she gave up on killing Vegapunk, and Luffy says that's good because they won't be annoyed by her crying like they were last night. Now, I see where this comment is coming from. It is weird that Luffy, someone who can vividly read people's emotions, is confused on how she's in such a good mood. I mean, we've seen him do it firsthand on Zoro exposing that he's actually worried for Sanji, or when Luffy fought Sanji and knew the whole time that he was lying. It's because Luffy can read emotions. It's stated as much by Rayleigh. I was gonna disagree with this comment blindly and completely, but the more I actually think about it, it does kind of make sense. Of course, we all know that some Blackbeard pirates have pulled up to the island. We saw as much on chapter 1079. Last time we saw Bonnie, she was in Kuma's memories, and I really doubt she could just absorb all that shit in just one night and then change her mind completely. Everything does add up, except for the fact that Katarina knows Bonnie wanted to kill Vegapunk. I mean, how would she know this? I was thinking maybe because of Bonnie's association with the Blackbeard pirates, but would she really just blab that out to them? As well as her favorite food. Superior IQ talked about it. How would she know she likes pizza? Or maybe Katarina has been lurking watching Bonnie's actions in order to copy her exactly how she is, so that the Straw Hats would be fooled. But then we get into the problem about the dome and how they would even get in. We know that majority of the Blackbeard pirates aren't over there because we've seen their situations already. The only other people we haven't seen is Lafitte and Divine. And guess what? Lafitte is a man of flawless infiltration. I mean, he's done it already to a marine headquarters where he literally entered without anyone noticing. And so it makes sense that they could enter without a trace and replace Bonnie. What their plans are though is unclear, but I do think Blackbeard is definitely interested in those Seraphim. So keep that in mind as One Piece chapters come out. Nice to see Sanji didn't actually solo S-Shark. Ha 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 ha. Alright, okay. I'ma just take the little L there. Last chapter, since Sanji was out here unscathed unlike a certain smelly ass swordsman, I was like, damn, Sanji might have just low dipped that Seraphim and called it a day. However, this still doesn't disprove Sanji versus King. You can see the damage on S-Shark, so yeah, Sanji is still f***ing up that black piece of shit. Kizaru was interesting this chapter, especially his conversation with Saturn about Sentomaru, where he says, I won't betray my ideals. I wonder what his ideals are. And of course, the main part is Luffy's reaction. He's completely freaked out like I've never seen before. And you can actually see illumination and light particles around him with his face shaded in too. Which means Kizaru may have already spawned behind Luffy. A 9 out of 10 chapter for me. Oh yeah, I like this comment, packed with thoughts, so let's go over it. First, regarding Kizaru's ideals, I wondered as well. In context, what comes to mind is obviously what he just said right before, and that was, he can't ignore someone who's determined to fight for his duty. It did remind me of something Kizaru said back in Sabaody as well. When Luffy told his crew to run away from the three powerhouses, Kuma, Sentomaru, and Kizaru, Kizaru says, ignoring us? That makes me mad. In this situation, all three were fighting for their duty, no matter if they were intertwined or no matter the effort going into it. Kizaru was there to pack up Luffy, who had hit a Celestial Dragon. Kizaru thought Kuma was there to help with the situation, and Sentomaru was there for more unclear reasons. However, a chapter before, he did say he bore no grudge against pirates, implying he's just doing what he needs to do. And that's what Kizaru respects. And that's probably why he was so mad when Luffy got away, because he didn't do his duty with the minimal effort he expected. And on to the second part of the comment, that's something I recently noticed as well. In the panel with Luffy's shocked face, accompanying him is the small light beams that you always see when Kizaru is transporting as light. On the same topic, there is also this assumption that Luffy isn't even scared of Kizaru here. It's someone else strong that's coming. This is just... I don't even know what to say. See, there's a slight chance that it's anyone other than Kizaru. The chapter is literally named after him. In the same page, Kizaru clashes with Sentomaru and Luffy is near them as they're running to the Sunny, which is near the dome. And finally, the fucking light beams in the back. Of course he's talking about Kizaru. But going back to what the comment said, there was definitely a possibility that bro casually off-screen Sentomaru and is now going to Luffy. It would be insane if Luffy says someone really strong is coming and then Kizaru is literally just behind him. But honestly, from my perspective, I just think Kizaru isn't going to one-shot Sentomaru just like that. Kizaru already expressed that he can't just ignore him, so he drags shit out just like the weed smoker he is. One of the interesting parts of the chapter is when Saturn said humans are like insects. That had me thinking, what does that make Emu and the Gorosei / Celestial Dragons? Are they really moon / space people or ancient demons? That line had me shook, displaying that naked contempt for the human species. Ugh. Yeah, this was something I really looked at and was like, wow, Oda's really emphasizing this f***ed up ideology. Now, before reading this comment, my own thoughts only led to the Celestial Dragons multiple quotes saying that they're above humans and that they aren't human because they're gods. Hence why they use humans as slaves. In fact, they don't even allow humans to walk when they're walking. And if you get in their way, an admiral would be called. But this comment can add a little more nuance to it. Moon/space people really made sense because of the appearance of the world nobles. They all wear outlandish clothes that literally resemble astronaut suits, as well as the bubble on their head resembling an astronaut helmet. Ancient demons is something I haven't thought of, and I'd like to hear more about that. What did Bonnie see? With claps in between. That's a bar. Anyways, this is a good ass question. Last thing we saw is Kuma seemingly trying to run away from enslavement, and even from that Bonnie got emotional. Now, if this isn't Devon just acting like Bonnie, now she's actually fine. And in fact, now she's changed her mind, giving up on killing Vegapunk, so it's safe to say that something she saw really changed her perspective. What I think it was, however, was the fact that Kuma did give up his life voluntarily. In chapter 1072, she didn't believe Kuma would just sacrifice himself and abandon her. But once she gets into these memories, she can see that he did, and probably for a really honorable reason. Therefore, she goes on to give up on killing Vegapunk because it's not his fault. That is, once again, if this is not Katarina Devon. Alright, for the last comment we have, Kuro has more depth than Rob Lucci. I had to say it. Alright bro, what the fuck?